Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are still working on King John, and today we get to hear from Salisbury in Act 4, Scene 3. So quick recap. England and France are at war because England was excommunicated and France was supposed to enforce that, and England, being King John, kidnapped Arthur and told Hubert to kill him, which Hubert took him away and then didn't actually kill him because he didn't have the heart to do that. But he didn't want anybody to know that he didn't kill him. And then in Act 4, Scene 2, we had Salisbury and Pembroke talking to the king, who had himself recoronated, and they're like, you didn't really need to recoronate yourself. He's like, no, I'm different. And they're like, yeah, if you're really different, release Arthur. And he's like, okay, I will. And then Hubert came in, and they all found out that Arthur was dead, and Salisbury and Pembroke and Lord Bigot are all like, oh, this is really bad, we got to go tell the people that basically the king had him murdered. And the king sends Philip the Bastard after them, so they can't tell people that the king is murdered. And we found out that Queen Eleanor, King John's mother, is dead, and Constance has died. So King John is not doing very well, and he takes it all out on Hubert, being like, how dare you misinterpret me saying take care of Arthur by actually killing Arthur. And he lays into him so much that finally Hubert is like, I didn't kill him, I couldn't do it, I didn't have the heart to do it. And King John's like, oh, we should tell people that he's not actually dead. And that was the end of Act 4, Scene 2. So at the beginning of Act 4, Scene 3, we have Arthur standing on the castle wall. My guess is that he's trying to get out of the castle, because for him to be coming back into the castle doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because it's King John's castle, so why would he be coming back in after he's been released and he knows that his life is still kind of in danger and nobody needs to know that he's alive? But whatever. He's up on the wall and he looks down and he's like, well, the only way I'm getting down from here is if I jump, and here's hoping I don't die. And he jumps and he dies. So then Salisbury and Pembroke and Bigot walk in, and they're talking about how they're going to go to the Dauphin and sort of join the French side of this argument. And then Philip the Bastard catches up with them, and he's like, the king wants to talk to you. And they're like, we don't really recognize the king because he's a jerk. And then they all see the dead body of Arthur lying there, and Salisbury and Pembroke and Bigot are like, this is the most horrible murder. Like, who could ever murder such a sweet person as Arthur? And oh my God, have you ever seen such a vile thing? And Philip the Bastard is like, yeah, it's pretty vile, if indeed it was murder. And Salisbury says, if that it be the work of any hand, we had a kind of light what would ensue. It is the shameful work of Hubert's hand, the practice and the purpose of the king, from whose obedience I forbid my soul. Kneeling before this ruin of sweet life, and breathing to his breathless excellence the incense of a vow, a holy vow, never to taste the pleasures of the world, never to be infected with delight, nor conversant with ease and idleness, till I have set a glory to this hand by giving it the worship of revenge. So, what he's saying here is there's no doubt in Salisbury's mind that Arthur was murdered, even though we, the audience, know that Arthur died falling off of a wall. Salisbury is convinced that this was murder, and he knows that it was John that gave the order for this to happen, so he swears revenge on King John. And Philip the Bastard is like, he's still defending the king, because, the king made him a knight, made him Sir Robert Falconbridge, all that sort of stuff. And then Hubert comes in, and they're like, we know that you did this, you're a murderer. And he's like, whoa, I didn't do anything. Like, when I left him an hour ago, he was fine. And everybody starts drawing their swords on everybody, and they almost start fighting, but then Pembroke and Salisbury and Bigot go off to the Dauphin, because they figure if they just bring in an army and destroy the English, then that's a lot easier than having this piddly little sword fight with these couple dudes. So they run off, and now we have a moment between Philip and Hubert, which we get to hear more about tomorrow in tomorrow's monologue. So I'll see you then for that. Mwah.